This episode of On the Limb podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Faith Builders, LLC. Faith Builders, LLC is a Christian-owned and operated West Virginia construction company. Faith Builders is a shingle master through CertainTeed Shingles. Faith Builders offers a 50-year non-prorated warranty. In addition to pitched roofs, Faith Builders also specializes in low-slope roofing for both commercial and residential, currently certified through Mule Hide Roofing Products. Give them a call today at 304-916-3033 and 304-474-3096, or visit them on their Facebook page. Faith Builders, LLC, brightening up the world one job at a time. 304-916-3033. All right, folks, welcome to another episode of On the Limb podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls. We've got a great show lined up for you this evening. It's the West Virginia holiday almost coming up here soon. Dan, you know what that is?
That 100% is West Virginia rifle season.
That's right. That's right.
It falls within the week of that Thanksgiving holiday we all celebrate, but we all know what's the more important part of the holiday.
Deer season. Oh gosh. Absolutely. No, we love Thanksgiving too, but it's it's always been like a holiday. I mean, it's like Christmas morning, opening day, and man, it's just, we have a good time at it. So all right, guys, so we're going to be chatting with some guys that we met at the Deer Gear and Beer Expo presented by Hunt Chef that was at the Fayette County Fairgrounds. And these guys, the Only Bows team and the Pursuit Live team, these are some great people. We got to meet them a little bit there at the show, and then we actually went out to dinner with them after the show and had a really good time, got to know them a lot better, and we're just like, man, we've got to have these guys on the podcast, and they have their own podcast. So they were podcasting live there from the Deer Gear and Beer Expo. So we're going to talk with them here in a little bit, but first, Dan's going to tell you about the West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, you can't say we. I did not get to make it to the
Yeah, you didn't. So that was your loss.
We'll catch up. I mean, it's the whole industry. We'll cross paths here before long. So we also got some exciting things ahead here in West Virginia. Don't forget about the West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show at the Coliseum and Convention Center, January the 24th through the 26th. That's brought to you by the West Virginia Trophy Hunters Association. This show always brings seminars, tips, tricks, equipment, gear, adventures. You want to get an African safari trip? Come to the Charleston Hunting and Fishing Show, man. You're gonna get one. Always good hunting stories from the mountain state of abroad. People always talking about. I've talked to people that went on some of those African safaris and how well it was put together. They was very pleased with it. So, make sure to join us and the thousands of other exhibitors at the 2025 West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show. Don't forget to bring your buck in to get it scored at the show. They're doing that there, and obviously, if it's big enough, you're gonna get it on the West Virginia Whitetail Hall of Fame wall. You can always listen here on the Limb podcast or West Virginia Outdoors with Chris Lawrence on 58 WCHS Saturday mornings for any more details about the West Virginia Hunting and Fishing Show.
Man, it's been a while since we've had a podcast. We went on that fishing charter, and it was like we took a break there for a little bit.
It has. I was thinking that. I'm like, man, we ain't done this in three weeks almost.
So Dan hadn't talked that long, and God, what, for a month almost?
Right?
Anyways, season 3, episode 126, 127, and 128 is out now. We did like a podcast dump there while we were off that time, so we had a good backlog of stuff that we needed to get out. We were trying to finish up our Whitetail Weekly segments, so our 6th and 7th Whitetail Weekly segment is out now. So Caleb and Luke, they hit on the rut, post-rut, late season, different things like that. And, these guys talk all about scouting. and how you can even, use onX Maps while you're doing that scouting, which is on Apple or Android smartphones. And even your desktop, you can do it on desktop. So,
right. Yep. I was going to say desktop too now.
Yep. So be sure to head over to Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts, and you'll have all past and present episodes there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, also, don't forget to use Podcast 10 at checkout with outdoor-pro-shop.com for 10% off your order at checkout.
Yep, we're appreciative of those guys very much so.
Absolutely.
They're based out of Maryland. So they've got a ton of stuff.
All we're doing is trying to help our listeners too. It's anytime you can get a discount, people feel privileged to get that discount.
Well, especially in this day and time with things being so expensive. I mean,
yeah,
it's just nuts. Hopefully we're on the tail end of that come January.
Absolutely. Hey, my stocks have took a big increase. I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it. All right, well, that's enough of our spiel. So let's get the Only Bow guys on here. We're heading into bow season here in West Virginia. Or, well, we're heading out of bow season.
We're heading into the endings of bow season.
Yeah, because they don't have firearm and archery together, I don't believe, do they?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep, absolutely.
I didn't think they did. Anyways.
Yeah, you can still bow hunt during rifle season.
So rifle season starts November 24th, which is the Sunday before Thanksgiving, because now that we have Sunday hunting in West Virginia, we always
pass?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not prepared for that. I'll have to readjust.
You wasn't aware of that?
I was not aware of that. I know that was in the talks, but apparently I wasn't aware that it passed, and now Sunday is the opening day. I don't like that.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm going to have to research that. Sundays, that's not right. I don't like it.
Go ahead and research
it. Get drunk and have a good time and not go to bed till 2 a.m. and wake up at 3 a.m.
Oh, God. All right, so Only Bows team, we've got Chris, Dave, and Rob. How you guys doing this evening?
Good, guys. How are you? I just want to let you know you had me at safari hunting here.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we did. You guys got what's the guy's name that does the African hunts with you all?
Red Sky Safaris.
Yeah, Red Sky Safaris. I got you. Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And his name was Art, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I met him while he was there. He's a pretty cool dude too. So, nice. So if you guys don't care, just tell us a little bit about yourselves, how you all got started one at a time in the outdoors, and how you got introduced into hunting and stuff.
Good, Chris. All right. Fuck it. Hey,
lead it off, Chris.
I'm the founder of Only Bows. I'm also the producer of Pursuit Live. I've been hunting now, almost 24 years. Got started in the woods of Pennsylvania as a kid and haven't looked back since. I don't know. I don't know what more you want to hear. That's it. That's my story.
Yeah, so you said as a kid, who got you involved into that? Your father, your grandfather, or how'd that go?
I guess I would almost say it was kind of just in my blood from a young age, and
he was born with it.
Once I turned 12 and I was able to legally hunt, then it was just going out with whoever I could, whether it was my father, my grandfather, my uncle, my friends.
Yeah.
Just anything.
So it was basically a family affair, like my family. I mean, it was everybody hunted. I mean, if you didn't go hunt, you stayed home and stayed with mom pretty much. That's about it.
You did that a lot, didn't you, Mike?
No, I did not. I was in Pocahontas.
I don't buy it.
I was in Pocahontas County every year. I miss those trips, man. They're going up there this weekend. Now that I'm an adult, you don't have the time to take off like you used to when you was young. Didn't have nothing else to do. Didn't have any responsibilities. Right. Oh, don't we miss those days?
Dang it, Dalton. All right. Anyway, Dave, you want to tell us how you got started and a little bit about yourself there?
Sure. So thank you for having us on tonight. My name's Dave. I'm the founder of Urban Pursuit. I'm based on Long Island, New York, about 60 miles east of Manhattan.
I'd have never guessed that.
Yeah, the accent's a little thick, so if you got to turn on the subtitles,
it's a little strong.
Yeah. It's a unique hunting scenario where I'm at. Like I said, being that close to the city, that close to the ocean, but it's a fun chase where I'm at. I think I'm on only my third year of public land hunting. I was lucky enough to grow up, in a hunting and fishing family. My dad spent a lot of time with me in the woods, especially when it came to the archery hunting.
Yeah.
And then probably, I guess, about 15, 16 years old when I started going out on my own, it was just trial by error. You kind of just get out there and just figure out what's working, what's not working. You miss a lot of deer and you learn and you grow as a hunter. But honestly, that's really what drives me to keep getting better constantly as a hunter. It just ever since about 3 years ago when I actually was fortunate enough to land a really nice buck, with my bow, it really struck a nerve with me. I'm like, this is really something I want to pursue and get better at. Really dive into it. And that's pretty much where I'm at today. Still learning, still growing as a bow hunter, but very rewarding. Every step of the way. That's how I look at it.
Nice. Now, with you being in New York and all that Long Island area, do you go up to the Catskills and all that quite often?
I am fortunate enough that we have some family property kind of near Oneonta, upstate New York from where I'm at. It's about 4 hours north of me. It's a nice little 7-acre piece, but it's that was deer camp. That's deer camp, turkey camp. And again, very fortunate enough to get up there anytime we could. My dad, my grandpa, my brother, family, friends, whatever it may be. So
sure.
It's I definitely can encourage that if anybody ever has a chance and they're fortunate enough, doesn't matter how big the property is, just any piece of woods or property you could kind of call home base for a weekend or a long weekend and just share the journey with everybody. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was stationed in Fort Drum, I got to do a good bit of hunting in the state of New York. So I had a real good friend of mine. Her dad owned some property. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but the watershed was what supplied New York City, where he was at. That watershed what supplied New York City. So I never did get to connect on a black bear. He called me it's 3 years after I got out of the service, and he was like, "Hey, come up here. I got a black bear that just broke into my house. Can you kill it?" But I never did manage to get up there to kill it for him.
That's why we got Chris and Rob. That's our in-house bear guys on the team. They get it done.
Nice. Well, speaking of Rob, we'll jump into him if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got introduced into the outdoors.
All righty. Well, first of all, like Dave said, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, no problem.
My name's Rob. I grew up in the Catskills. My dad built a cabin up there before I was born, and that's where we would spend a lot of hunting season, summers, springs, and it was just going outside exploring with my sister. And learned how to shoot the BB gun and moved up to the 22 and then the rifle. Got into bow hunting a little later in my 20s and ended up getting connected with a bunch of really good guys, and I've never looked back. Bow hunting is really all I want to do now. It's a challenge. It's hard. It's fun. It's something special. And what else? I'm the production manager for Pursuit Live. And I met Chris and Dave through social media. I have a mobile deer processing business.
Wow.
And that's actually how I met the two of them.
Mobile deer processing.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I got a mobile deer processing. Well, let me rephrase that. I used to have one.
Oh, God. Yeah, hitting deer all the time with your truck.
Hey, yeah. Hey, that's the easiest way to kill them. You don't have to tag them. You just call it DNR and be like, "Can I keep this? I hit a deer."
Yeah. Speaking of Dave, there we just talked to there before, Rob. He's a little bit cooler than the Dave we've got on the show, of course, which ain't here this evening.
Of course, he's not. Yeah, at least their Dave shows up, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I was like, God.
We love you, Dave.
Yep, love you, Dave. Enjoy that mandatory overtime, bud.
He had to work overtime, so he's a little busy this evening. He's on mandatory overtime right now.
Yeah.
I get it. I barely made it myself, so I get it.
It happens sometimes.
It does.
So, how did all you guys meet? I mean, you guys are all in different areas.
Well, if you pay attention to what they talked about.
We're just an online dating success story, basically.
No, that's where it came from.
Nice. Yeah, that's exactly. What do you think they got? Only bows
on that.
That's what I'm saying. That's where the only bows came from.
As far as like Chris and I kind of syncing up, it was in the early days of Urban Pursuit, and Instagram's always been my main platform. Yeah. I find it's a very like interactive platform, easy to network with people. And I was honestly just kind of always constantly finding myself going live, whether I was just prepping gear, I was out in the garage, where I'm at now, whatever it may be, kind of talking about a hunt that I had coming up or some tactics. Very informal, 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. And I just happened to keep seeing some accounts, constantly tuning in. So I reached out to them.
Nice.
It ended up being Chris at the time. And then we kind of turned that into, again, a little bit more of a formal approach. We were doing it kind of once a week for about half an hour, 45 minutes. And then, finally we really got to talking like, hey, we're both in New York. We got the same mindset. We kind of want to team up, essentially. And that's honestly where we really first started going live weekly for an hour show, reaching out to guests, kind of coordinating a little bit. And, it's funny when we look back at some of the previous lives that we did early on, they're great. They're fun. The old dialogue was great, but we've definitely evolved in our approach. We definitely kind of streamlined our approach.
Yeah.
Tightened it up a little bit. And, technology, man, it's a great thing. When it's used the right way, we can really network with some great people, like you guys, Hunt Chef. All of that is a direct response of the show that we were able to do and continue to do. And we're having fun.
Yeah. So what's crazy about it is it seems like every time we have an episode, we figure out something different that we can do or something different that we can, how we can talk about something or, I mean, it's crazy the different things that if you listen to different podcasts, you'll hear the different techniques and people use to bring, the topics and stuff like that forward and get attention. But, I mean, just like you're saying, the technology itself, we've been trying forever to get this freaking video with our phone here that we use to actually bring the audio in from our Rodecaster Pro board. So we're still working on that, but I mean, we do good, I think. I mean, we sure appreciate all of our listeners out there that listen in. I think we have right now roughly around 4,000 listeners that tune in to us on all the different networks, and that includes, Spotify and YouTube and Facebook on our lives and different things like that. So, I mean, it's growing more and more every day, so it's crazy.
Yeah. And we haven't mentioned this. We did just start a TikTok account too.
Yeah, Dan just started that. I'm not a big TikTok person, but he says TikTok is one of the biggest things these days, and I don't know. I said, you want to do it, you run it.
Yeah, so I created us a TikTok. It's On the Limb Podcast, so you have to check that out. I got banned for 2 days already, so we're doing something right.
Oh my God! So the podcast that you all done there at the expo, I did not get to tune in on that. What was your all's topics there? Was it basically just about the show, or I know you all interviewed Jeremy?
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, yeah, I think it was just kind of a recap of the first day of the event. Jeremy, and Hunt Chef as a whole, he's a big supporter of ours. He's a friend of the show, so really trying to help him promote the event was kind of the goal of the live that night.
Yeah.
We definitely had a couple beers, so it was nice to finally sit down and just kind of relax a little bit. But yeah, usually we don't run with a topic, believe it or not. The show is completely unscripted, and we tend to let the conversation go wherever it leads. One of the things we like to really get into is the background and the story behind the people that we're talking with and our guests.
Yeah.
So just having Jeremy on and letting him kind of open up a little bit about the background of getting the show organized and everything that it takes to really run an event like that was kind of the main objective of that show, and really just to show him as much support as we could and try and expose our listeners to something new.
Yeah, and what was really good was like we've talked about this before, was the quality of vendors that was there. I believe every vendor that was there knows what it takes to pull a show like that together and be a part of a show that's something like that. And it kind of, really meant a lot to them to be able to do that with him and be invited. I mean, I'm just thankful that he was allowing us to be a part of it. It was a great time hanging out. We had a good bit of people there come through on Saturday, and it was great. We had a great time. I hope they do it again next year. I'm hearing that he's planning on doing it and going to make it an annual thing. So it gets better and better with the time going on.
Yeah, and he's got the perfect setup there. Forgive me if I missay, the Fayetteville Fairgrounds, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
That whole setup there is just perfect, and it's just primed for growth for the future.
Oh yeah.
For anything that he needs to do, it can accommodate anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, speaking on that, how did you guys get hooked up with Chef and the crew there?
He was actually one of our earlier guests on the show. Again, just kind of just being well known throughout the industry. We reached out to him. He was more than generous to join us one night. And, after the show, we kind of just did a post-show recap, thanking him, and we just got to talking.
Nice.
Shit, we probably talked for another 40 minutes after the show. That's just how Jeremy is. He's just a very...
Oh, Chef can talk now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, he kind of clued us into it, and we just stayed in touch, honestly. And it's always been very easy to work with either Jeremy directly or his whole team, like Chris said. The whole Hunt Chef team together as a whole, they're a very solid crew. So we're very fortunate to be friends with them. And, they got our full support moving forward.
Awesome. Yeah, they're great group of people. We love them. I mean, can't speak more highly of them.
Yeah,
but,
Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when we first met them here at the Charleston show.
It's because the food they brought. That's what brought me to them. And then we just hit it off from there. It's just, we became family, basically.
Well, I mean, the product itself draws people to his booth. I mean, it's crazy how good those seasonings are and the talent that man has. I mean, he's an executive chef. I mean, that's all there is to say about it. He's damn good at what he does.
I just wish I could get him to cook for me all the time.
Well, guys, we're going to take a break real quick and hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Only Bow Guys and Pursuit Live. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Apparition Scents, an outdoor and sporting goods company based in Dilliner, Pennsylvania. All of their scents developed and hand-bottled with strict attention being paid to every detail. Contact them today at 724-998-7646 or check them out at apparitionscents.com. 100% lethal or your money back guaranteed. Get a hold of them today at 724-998-7646 or check them out at apparitionsense.com. All right, guys, we're back with Only Bows team and Pursuit Live and Urban Pursuit. So we're going to get into talking about a little bit about Pursuit Live and where that's going. They've got some exciting things going on, and we'll hit on Urban Pursuit as well.
Absolutely. Right after we discuss our Salute to Valor.
Oh yeah, you got to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, you always leave that out. We get so excited about it, and it's coming back from these breaks here, whatever. It's something we like to do, and we like doing every episode. So tonight we're actually going to be saluting somebody we're speaking with. We're going to be saluting Chris. So Chris actually served from 2006 to 2009 in the United States Army, and he had one deployment. Chris, I mean, if you want to, we would love to have you expand a little bit on your service. Tell us what unit or where you was stationed and who you was with, if you don't care.
Well, I mean, I guess I could. I was active duty from 2006 to 2009. I was a 13 Fox. I deployed with 2-4 Spit to Baghdad in 2007. After my deployment, I PCS to Fort Bliss. Wound up in a leg unit, an armored unit, which I wasn't super happy about coming from a light unit. So, that was basically it. I wish I had like a cool, a cool story or something like that. Like everybody, the one thing people ask is like, oh, why'd you join the military? I'm like, I wish I had a cool story. I was a young kid. I was still pissed off about 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recruiter called my mother's house looking for my sister. I said, well, she's not here, but I'll talk to you.
Nice.
I wish I had a cool story.
That's a pretty cool story. That's kind of how my story went. Honestly, in all intentions, I was joining the Air Force. I went to the recruiter station, and they was on lunch from 11:30 to 2 o'clock, and nobody showed up. I walked across the street and joined the Army.
Yeah.
Pissed me off.
No, it's cool in itself that you served and took on that to do, and we want to salute you, and we sure appreciate your service to our great country, and God bless you, sir.
Well, thank you for the support.
Yep, thank you for your service.
Yes, sir. So, do you guys ever get into the lull of? I mean, do you all take a break and don't do an episode, or don't? You have something going on to where you guys are out for a week or 2 weeks and come back in and you're like, damn, I forgot to do this.
Yeah. Well, and also, while you're forgetting to do things, we also want to mention something else since we did the salute. Don't forget to check out apparitionsense.com and use promo code on the limb at checkout to receive 20% off your entire order.
So back to that. Do you guys get into that?
Well, I think the biggest thing that helps is just, trusting your team. Like at this point, between Rob, Chris, and myself, it's almost like 2/3 of the team could make a decision if we really needed to on the fly. We've been doing this long enough. We trust each other's judgment, and we know we trust each other, who we are, personally. So it's like, in case you can't get in touch with me, if you, Chris and Rob, think we need to do something, yeah, I trust you guys. Go ahead, act on it.
Yeah,
and that's a very important part of where we're at this point. It's we can get a lot done in a couple of simple text messages, but we also like to meet. I would say it no later than once every 2 weeks on the phone and kind of hash stuff out. It takes a lot to do it weekly.
It does.
Yeah. Now, and I do want to expand on that, Dave. Like one of the key things of our show, it's live every Friday at 8 o'clock without fail, and we're almost wrapping up our second season at this point. So awesome. We're going strong on almost 100 some odd episodes without a break. It's it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work behind the scenes, and I know Rob has a very tough job, and it's almost a thankless job at times. So, I mean, Rob, I'll take the opportunity to thank you for everything you do right now. But it's a lot. It's hard for us to try and not miss an episode, and when things do, fall through, whether a guest has to cancel at the last minute or something, Dave or myself or Rob isn't available due to work or something like that, we kind of, as Dave said, really pull together as a team very quickly and kind of cover down for each other.
Yeah. No, it's good. And Rob, thank you for your service there in law enforcement, sir. We appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, on that, you guys said it every Friday. Do you guys do all over the phone podcast?
They do live.
Okay, so you guys meet up and do in studio type things?
Live video.
We do it on video. All of us have our own individual studios, I guess you could say, and we stream it live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Every Friday.
See, that's what we're missing, Mike. We only do Facebook. We need to expand.
Yeah, well,
you guys are beating us a little bit. We don't have TikTok, but
we just got it.
We'll get there.
I think where the show has had success, and we talked about this a lot, the three of us in the beginning, we kind of didn't want it to be like a tactic-driven podcast. Not that there's anything wrong with that. A lot of people enjoy a heavily tactic-based hunting, whether it's whitetail specific or whatever it may be. But I was honest up front with the guys. I'm like, in all honesty, I'm going to get bored of doing that. Like, I want this to be a show that kind of, like, I don't want to kind of narrow us down into one topic. I want to be able to touch on anything.
Yeah.
Like almost take like that Joe Rogan approach to it. You know, honestly, that's how we that's kind of like the mentality we take. If you're in the outdoors, you're doing it the right way, you're sending a positive message while you're doing it, bring it on. Like, come on, come share your story with us.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to have only a few episodes that we've done without a guest, and that's been one of the good things that's been great about our show. And I think people enjoy listening to the people that we have on and hearing about their stories and how it how their journey got started, or business or whatever. We want to promote small businesses around the country, and we definitely want to support and promote our veterans and active duty in the military and all branches of the military. And so that's we try to incorporate a lot of the little different things in there with it. We say God, family, country, and everything outdoors, kind of bring the grassroots of America back into a show to where people can listen to those things, get a little bit of everything. We're not going to push anything down anybody's throat or anything like that, but we try to give a little bit of everything in every little episode. So
that's not true. We will try to push down your throat getting a kid outdoors.
Well, yeah, but I was basically talking about.
No, I know what you meant. But
yeah,
I wanted to explain that. We will tell you to get a kid outdoors. They're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. It's worth it. Like, you can't beat it.
Yeah,
you're going to see the smile on their face at the end of that day when you get them out there.
Yep. So let's talk a little bit about Urban Pursuit Live.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Let's talk a little bit about Urban Pursuit.
Urban Pursuit. So where I'm at, again, on Long Island, we have a very, very dense deer population. And again, it's basically to the point where it's a lot of suburban hunting, 5 acres or less, really isolated patches of woods. What the premise behind Urban Pursuit was honestly a business model, but I really wasn't like a business to make money. I wanted to take a more professional approach to door knocking. In all honesty, because a lot of guys, we live in that gray area when we're growing up, we're learning how to hunt. And I've done it myself, but there's so many guys that just flat out trespass or just not doing it the right way. So I really wanted to take more of a professional approach. I'm like, let me come up with some type of, logo or some type of name. I printed up a binder with all the local laws from the DEC. And I had a bunch of flyers printed up and hanging them up in all the local stores and everything. And it's a ruthless game, the door knocking. I'll be honest. I don't have that magic knock like some guys do. I've only gotten maybe 2 or 3 properties out of probably 75 attempts. But at the end of the day, that's 3 more properties I could still hunt on top of all the public land that I do. I butcher the deer myself, so I share the meat with the homeowners. I make them aware about the ticks if they're not aware of it. One property, I'm actually going to help him post their property because he had concerns that he wasn't posted, enough. And when I walked his property, I'm like, yeah, you could put up 10 times more posted signs. And so anything I could do as a hunter to have a positive influence on a homeowner, that's kind of what I want to hang my hat on as far as Urban Pursuit.
So wait. Your door knocking strategy here. Do you think that in this day and age it's a little bit harder or a lot bit harder? Because I know that's like growing up, that's kind of what we did too. We was like, hey, can we come on your property and rabbit hunt? We've seen a bunch of rabbits. Or hey, can we come over and squirrel hunt? But it seems like in this day and age it's gotten a lot harder.
I think the reason it is harder. There is a lot of hunters, as dense as the deer population is, that's how dense the hunting population is. But it's a weird caveat because we also have a heavily dense anti-hunting established here up in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's pretty much either 2 answers. It's either the property's being hunted already, whether or not it is, who knows, or basically get the hell out of here. That's about the 2 answers you get.
Wow.
Yeah. I got you.
And that's why, and again, that's hey, not a problem. Thank you for your time. Again, you gotta remember, you're showing up as a hunter, and there's a good chance this person or this family has never even heard of archery hunting, or they have all these concerns. So I get it, but that's where instead of showing up right from work all dirty or out of the woods late at night. No, I'll park my truck a couple blocks away, clean pair of pants, polo shirt with my logo on it, the binder, literally just door knocking. And you definitely see a different approach when you go about it that way. And you just got to be cognizant of that. You don't want to show up at like dinner time or early Sunday morning. All that adds to it when you're doing it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But again, it's I have not found the magic knock yet. If I find it, I don't know if I'm going to share it with anybody though, because it's
that's be proprietary.
Yeah,
for sure.
So how's the Bucks acting in your all's area, Chris? I'd say in Pennsylvania they're probably rutting pretty good.
Chris or Rob, you guys want to chime in?
For me, it's been pretty slow. It seems like maybe 2-3 weeks ago they were pushing kind of hard, and now there's kind of a lull. For me, where I am
now,
I would say it's pretty. I don't live too far from Rob, and I would say the same thing. It's activity has definitely dropped off a little bit up here.
Really? You guys?
I sat this afternoon. I actually didn't see one deer.
Wow.
Oh wow.
And I was in a pretty good spot where usually you'll see a dozen.
Now your guys' rifle season starts what? After Thanksgiving usually.
This past Saturday.
Yeah, it started. Oh. So you guys started before us. See, normally I thought PA started a week after West Virginia.
Well, no, we're up in New York. We're all New York hunters.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of guys do go out with the rifles, but where we are in Rockland and Orange and Long Island, it's really all just archery.
Yeah, sure. That's hence the reason only bow.
And again, where I'm at, I would say the same thing. I think I even talked to Rob the other day coming home from a hunt. I'm like, man, I didn't even see a tail. I didn't jump a deer walking in. I did a big slow loop walking out, didn't jump a deer. I don't get too hung up on the terms like the October lull or the lockdown phase. However, at the time being, it's certainly showing signs of quote unquote that lockdown phase.
Yeah, it's got to be.
But again, that's where your perseverance as a hunter. You got to push through it. You still got to get out in that stand because you don't know when these bucks are going to start coming back to more like that. I guess it would be called like their home range. And if you're not there, you ain't going to get them.
Yep.
100%.
So a lot of them are staying nocturnal, right, in y'all's area?
Yes.
I would say so. It's been warmer too. We've been averaging 50 to 60s.
Yeah.
Which again, the rut's still going to happen, but they're going to push it more. Probably towards the nighttime hours where it's a little bit cooler.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd say I've always been a believer that, the weather and the different things like that have an effect on those things. It seems like the deer's wanting to move and, they're wanting to stay on their feet and feed more when it's colder and when they see a front coming in or something like that. I mean, it all has something to do with it, I think.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for that first crunchy leaf morning. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Right.
We've had a couple good frosts here in West Virginia, but nothing really. I mean, it's only been down in the 30s one time. I mean, we're looking at snow coming in on Thursday of this week.
But it's still only going to be like 38 the low.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to get there at some point. And it's, if it starts Thursday and moves into next week on opening day of Monday. That's what Jared just commented too. Opening day is Monday.
I thought so. I knew it was talked about to moving it to Sunday, but I didn't think it had passed. So.
Yep. But I had seen somebody talking about it on Facebook or something like that. That's why I mentioned it like
that. Maybe they plan on starting Sunday.
Well, I guarantee you that if it's posted out there, somebody's going to know about it that they don't want to know.
Yeah.
So, you guys hunt a lot out of state or just basically there in New York?
Oh boy, here we go. Go ahead, Chris.
I'll wait.
Oh god.
There's a running joke on the show with a couple of things. So
he said, "I'll wait."
I'll put a selfish plug out there for our show. I encourage everybody to tune in on Fridays. Chris and I couldn't be any further apart as far as personality wise. How we hunt, he's Mr. Sitka, Mr. Matthews, and I'm shooting a 10-year-old PSC, still rocking Realtree. But Yeah, he's earned the nickname of only bougie in our crew because he has high taste with everything in life. But he gets it done. And I'll preface it with this: him and his team just got back from Africa recently, and they were very, very productive. But he makes it a point now on every show to bring up Africa. So we'll let Chris air it out for you guys.
No wonder he said we had him at Safari.
That's exactly why. Yeah. So let's hear it.
Well, I think you covered all the bases. Thank you, Dave.
So it makes it work, though, man. It takes all types on the team, and
yeah.
Honestly, that's what adds to it, And the biggest thing is exactly who we are on the show. It's who we are in person. People are not stupid. They will smell through the bullshit real quick. If you pretend to be something you're not, claim to be something you're not.
For sure.
In the hunting industry, you will get burned eventually. And you're going to look like a knucklehead. It's not worth it. Be true to yourself. Be true to who you are as a hunter. People respect that,
Yeah, especially when you're out killing trophy Cape buffalo. People.
Oh, Jesus.
There we go.
I guess Dan got disconnected somehow. Let me add him back in on the call.
I could directly answer your question. Honestly, I've never done any out-of-state hunts. I'm very fortunate with where I'm at in my home state. Dogs I can chase after, and they keep me more than busy. I'll promise you that.
Well, I hear you. I just tried to add Dan back in. Dan, you in?
Yeah, man, that was random. Like, I got good service, and I just dropped the call. Like, it said call failed.
I got a call come in, and I was like, who the hell is that calling me right now?
It was me.
Yeah, I seen that. Gosh.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It just, call failed. I don't know.
See, Dave, you're not the only one that has technical difficulties.
I've gotten better.
Oh, it
I've
happens.
gotten better. I paid the electrical bill. That helps.
It happens.
Well, I think it's Illinois. It's a curse to me.
But you're in Kentucky now.
No, I'm in Illinois now.
You bounce around so much.
Michael.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you ain't talked to me in a day and a half. I'm gone.
I know, really? I mean, like, we talk every day almost.
Yeah, well, you missed a day yesterday. I'm in Illinois now.
You go to Kentucky to Illinois in one day. Oh, God.
I go where I'm needed.
So, how do you guys feel when it comes to balancing all the work and the podcast and the other businesses with your time in the outdoors and family and things like that?
I'm sorry, you cut out on a bunch of that. What'd you say? Just please repeat it.
The balancing act that you have to play between the business, the podcast, the hunting, and the family. You guys enjoy that?
It's coming from me. I've got 2 young kids, full-time job, work nights, with the deer processing now. I also started a thermal drone tracking for deer.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot, but we all want this, you know what I mean? Like, we all want to be successful and do well and get really good guests on and everything else like that. So, we're all, it's almost like a sacrifice. We're all working really hard to be successful in all of our different ways.
I would say there's always room for improvement. That term continuous improvement, you can apply that to kind of any factor in life. And I know I fall short. I'll put, some of the daily chores at the house that needs to get done on the back burner, not meaning to, but between hunting hard, working hard with the team to keep the show at a high quality. It's tough. You really have to take a strong, active approach to keep that balance there. Big shout out to my wife, Kate, all my family, my friends, they know once hunting season comes, I'm MIA. But it's that you find out who your true friends and family are at that point, and it's they understand, they're your true friends and obviously your family. Once this reaches a certain point of your life where it's and then postseason scouting, everything that comes with it, people realize it's more than just quote unquote, I think, a hobby. It's really like a big part of who we are. Like we really do live 100%. For this. I know it's a little bit cliche, but it really is such a big part of who we are as humans at this point. Once you dedicated, so much time to it.
No, it's definitely a lifestyle for sure.
Right. The life, exactly.
It's not just a hobby. I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't get to hunt as much as I would want to. But there's a lot of other things that take up my time to do that involve the outdoors and promoting the outdoors. So, I mean, I get out in the woods as much as I can during turkey season and rifle season. But other than that, I wanted to shoot my bow this year. Got a brand new recurve. Didn't get a chance to get out there and do it. Just too busy. So that's I fight that balance and finding time to do those things a lot.
I know for a fact, Chris, Rob, and I, we burned that midnight oil many nights.
Yes.
Literally, finish the show, whatever, it's 10 o'clock, 10:30, we're still on the phone planning, organizing, what could we do better? It really is that blood money, and there's no money coming in at the moment. So it's
right.
You just literally grind, and I hate the term it's a grind, you're grinding, but it is. It really is.
Sure.
It is. Yep.
Yeah, well, me and Mike are the same way. Dave we miss Dave every now and then, but me and Mike do that. It is a grind, and there's been nights. Good Lord, we've had a show coming up, and it's Mike calls me at like 9 o'clock. Hey, can you come help me finish all these calls? Yeah, we're there till 1 o'clock in the morning, and 2 o'clock in the morning. Then we get up and have to leave at 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning to get to the show.
Yep. And you got to know your team. Everybody's got strengths and weaknesses. Chris is very, very good with the technical end. He's helped me out countless times with whatever I need. And he produces the show. He does a majority of the editing for us. And that's not easy to do. You guys know what it's like to edit something. It takes time.
Oh yeah.
And it's just painstaking, making sure your transitions are good, your audio's good.
Mm-hmm.
If you got subtitles, whatever it is, you're constantly rechecking your work. Rob's got so many great connections in the industry from his years in the woods and just the hunting industry. And I'm just a guy pretending to be a guy, being a guy on the show.
I'm just Dave, if you're gonna make quotes, man, come on, at least quote them right.
I'm just a dude playing a dude, pretending to be another dude.
There you go. Oh man, I can go somewhere with that one.
I do have to say, to Dave's point, where we are meow is like light years
he
from
said meow.
Where we were 2 years ago.
Now we got Super Troopers coming out.
Gosh, love it.
Do I look like a cat to you, boy?
Do I look like I'm about to sip milk out of a bowl?
Oh, do you see me drinking milk from a saucer? Well, do you see me eating mice? Now, y'all cut that laughing out right now.
Right now.
I can't believe he went there.
I called it right off the bat because I say it all the time.
He got caught. That was the thing.
Yeah, he thought we was just going to slide right past that, didn't he?
I'll drink to that. I got a beer open. I'll drink to that. Well done, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll drink that. Scotch up.
Well, I have water, so I ran
all right, but seriously now, so where we are now compared to when we first started out, like Dave was saying, it really kind of has been a little bit of a grind, and every show it feels like we're trying to improve over something that we were doing the week before, the month before, last year, and we have come a very long way, but it does take a lot. I mean, I guess I'm the odd man out, just like Dave likes to say, we're oil and water. I'm single, I got no kids, I got a great job, and I guess I can dedicate a lot of time to doing this. And,
sure.
Sometimes I like to put my feet up on my desk at work and do Pursuit Live work instead. But it does take a lot, and it's a lot of dedication. And we didn't really get into this to kind of become outdoor personalities or become somebody or become wealthy, if you will. We really got into this whole adventure because, like Rob said, we love doing this. This is something that's kind of ingrained in all of us, and we want to not just, help promote our own stories. We enjoy hearing other people's stories.
Oh,
and
yeah.
helping promote other people and
Yep.
listening to, shared experiences from across the country and trying to use social media in a positive way.
Oh yeah. I mean, this podcast of ours is an extension of our game call business. Like we talked there at dinner that evening. And, after my brother passed away and Dan stepped up and started helping me and continue this business. And, the podcast was kind of like, it was just an extra thing that we added to get it out to other people in a different way and, just continue the hunting heritage on a different aspect, I guess. I mean, it's just another way that we can reach people and get that message across that, hey, we want to continue this. We want to continue the hunting heritage, the traditions that you are brought up in your family and, hunt camps, and give people those experiences that they've never heard before. I mean, we've had guides on here telling us that, there's people getting hired in the outdoor industry that's never been hunting before. And I'm like,
yeah,
are you kidding me? So it's just, it seems like it's something that is very needed. And we definitely wanted to make a difference in that aspect of it.
Well, you guys were mentioning, getting a kid out into the wilderness, whether it's hunting, fishing, get them out there. That is so true, because that's our future.
Yeah.
And one of the lines I come back to on our show a lot, whenever it warrants it, if there's a world where there's no hunting or fishing or mountain biking, no trailheads to hike, anything, I don't want to be a part of that world, because that's going to be a sad day in our society.
Oh yeah.
And everything we do is a direct reflection, and we're laying that foundation for the future. And you have hunter ethics, but now that we're somewhat in the spotlight to any degree, you got to be so cautious of anything you post or what you share. And all right, your immediate core of friends and hunters, they'll get the joke, but the minute you hit send or publish or whatever, that goes to everybody, and we owe it to ourselves to not shoot ourselves in the foot,
Mm-hmm.
and make it harder for ourselves. We already got an uphill battle.
Yep.
Oh yeah, especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at us in the Northeast here, in the middle of, I'll say in the middle of, liberal New York.
Right.
There's not many outdoor based or hunting based shows like we're doing, and we're right in the heart of it, and we're having success. Granted, we're reaching out to all different states and all different regions, but I love the fact that we're from where we're at and we're able to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And that's what we need. More people like you in those locations that are uptight about hunting and don't understand the need for it.
Well, you hear of a lot of people.
Just a simple conversation done the right way with the proper setting and a calm, clean conversation. It goes a long way. It
Absolutely.
really does.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So don't be that guy on the news if you're coming out of the hunting woods and somebody thinks you shouldn't be hunting there because they don't know it's public land.
Yeah.
Everybody's got cell phones, they got cameras, whatever. Don't be that guy causing an issue. Stay calm, stay collective, just be respectful. I had to call the DEC on myself one time because of hunter harassment. They're like, "You're going to call the cops on yourself?" I'm like, "Honestly, I am, and I'm not calling the cops. I'm calling the DEC because I know there's nothing wrong. This is public land. I have a permit. I have a license. I'm sorry if you don't happen to agree with it." And I was young. I was like 17, 18 years old. And I got these grown men screaming at me, cursing at me. I'm like, and then again, they're like, "You're going to call the cops on yourself." And the game warden showed up. I was good to go, and they got threatened with hunter harassment tickets, and I never had a problem again.
I'd say that's
awesome.
I mean, I'd say that you all dealt with a lot of that in your all's neck of the woods. I mean, that's one thing that we're thankful to live in a place where we live, where we don't really have people, challenging those issues. And, I've seen videos out there where people's fishing in parks and people come up to them and it's like, "Hey, you can't fish here. What are you doing? You're killing the fish and you're being so mean to the fish."
Yeah, that's my fish. That's my deer. Those are my pets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Well, guys, it was a pleasure having you all on this evening. I'm glad you guys got to come on and, tell a little bit about Only Bows, Pursuit Live, Urban Pursuit, and you guys got anything else you'd like to add before we get off?
O'Doyle rules.
Doyle, I have a feeling you're going down. Just not today. I ain't got the time.
Oh, gosh.
No, we appreciate you guys showing us, a tip of the hat, having us on, and I'm without a doubt we're going to work you guys in, and we'll have you on our end, and that's what it's all about. There's plenty of room for all of us in this outdoor space, and we're sharing the same message. So, we appreciate you guys having us on.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'll plug our show if you don't mind. It's every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll see it go live through Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. YouTube is going to be the main platform where all of the shows will be documented. And if you can, you hit that subscribe button. You can watch it live from YouTube every Friday. Or if you happen to miss it, you'll be able to watch any episode you want right there from the YouTube page. And all that info is on our Instagram accounts. It's all in the bios. And you guys know how it goes, man. Every little bit helps. Every subscription helps. Every follow helps.
Yes, definitely.
What is your Only Bows official? Is that your Instagram?
That's Chris's. Chris's is at Only Bows official.
Okay.
And then I'm at urban_pursuit_. And then the Pursuit Live page is at Pursuit Live official.
Yep. You guys go there and check those pages out and give them some love. We sure appreciate them coming on this evening.
Absolutely.
And, they're going to have us on their show, so we should have another good time there whenever they choose to have us.
And it's just the beginning. We got Hunt Chef, there's a Common Connection now, and all these other events coming up, like Great American Outdoor Show. That could be another meeting ground at some point. The options are endless.
Yep, it sure is. All right, Dave, Chris, and Rob, thank you guys again. We sure appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yep. You all have a good evening.
Good luck out there, guys.
Yeah, you too.
You guys too. Thanks.
All right, guys, be sure to check us out. Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast, we're there. And, folks, remember to go to naturesvoicegamecalls.com, use podcast 15 at checkout, and get 15% off your entire order. Deer season is upon us here in West Virginia. Rifle season's about ready to come up. Opening day starts Monday, November the 25th. And, we're already in archery season. A lot of rifle seasons coming in all over the country, so be sure to get those orders in for those deer calls. We also are dealers for a lot of other companies, too, so check us out there. And appreciate you again, Dan. And we really didn't miss Dave that much, the other Dave. A little rusty coming back in, but we got back into things pretty well, I think.
we got it rolling there after a while. It was rusty. It's been 3 weeks, man.
Since
we went did our live down at the beach with Coastal Marshes Adventures. We haven't really done one since.
Yep, and we've got a lot of great content coming out from that, and it'll be on our YouTube page, which is growing exponentially there over the last couple months. So,
yeah, we got a little bit of it on our YouTube or on our TikTok there.
Yeah.
I've been adding some here and there, so
yep,
just getting out there.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check every page out there. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Trout Routes. Trout Routes is a premier fishing app that strives to empower trout anglers with information to help you go further and discover new waters, new places, and new faces. Check them out at troutroutes.com. Trout Routes is proud to be able to connect you to local resources and experts, such as fly shops, guides, local brands, and nonprofits. Be sure to check them out at troutroutes.com or the Apple App Store and Google Play Store to download the app today.